Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy.
And I'm Stephanie.
And if you enjoy our show, please like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
We're also on Instagram at TWiN, and you can also find us on X. Wow. This story of the Palace communications director, well, not the Palace.
Why don't we call it the secret meeting that wasn't so secret?
Exactly.
I like that a little bit better.
This thing has made people mad, even on the Sussex squad side. They are not happy about this. So we showed you guys the Daily Mail article yesterday, but I thought it would be fun to see what Harry and Meghan are leaking now, because they want nothing to do with this, and so does Sussex squad. They want absolutely nothing to do with reconciliation. They want you to know it had nothing to do with reconciliation. And they're just freaking out over
I don't
this.
think people on our side are mad, though.
I would be mad
I'm not upset.
I would be mad if the king was really doing that to have reconciliation.
You'd be mad at him, or you'd just be like,
I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, disappointed, but I think mad.
I'm
not mad at the king.
No, okay, I'm not going to be mad, but I'd be disappointed. Yeah. So let's first read what Cosmo has to say. They picked up the story.
Oh, another Harry and Meghan rag match.
Who leaked the secret royal peace meeting? Sussex source speaks out. The leak has jeopardized the fragile peace operation and created suspicion and distrust on both sides.
There you go.
So by Meghan and Harry leaking this to other publications, just so they know that they're upset about the original leak, if I can get that right.
I feel like the lady is protesting too much.
I mean,
she's speaking out way too. She should have stayed silent.
She hasn't said anything. I mean, this is just a Sussex source. A secret meeting between royal aides representing the Sussexes and King Charles was photographed by paparazzi and reported on in the Daily Mail, and neither side is thrilled about how it went down. According to the Telegraph, this article that they're referring to was written by Victoria Ward, who is Team Harry and Meghan. So let's just keep that in mind when they refer to the Telegraph article. So this is Harry and Meghan speaking to Victoria Ward, allegedly. Harry and Meghan are understood to be frustrated and deny it was them behind the leak, which included pictures, not to mention topics of conversation and timing details. And while Buckingham Palace didn't comment, sources close to Prince Harry told the outlet that they were not responsible and acknowledged that the leak was not an ideal way to start peace talks.
Oh.
So they're trying to blame the palace, saying, well, you know, guys, we were trying. I mean, listen, we're going to get to your theory after we're done with this, but I'm starting to believe your theory a little bit more now.
Thank you.
Quick reminder, His Majesty's Communications Secretary and Harry's Chief Communications Officer and head of PR met for a secret meeting last week. And again, not only was it photographed, but the Daily Mail spoke to a source who had not a lot to say, including that there's a long road ahead, but a channel of communication is now open for the first time in years. There was no formal agenda, just casual drinks. There were things both sides wanted to talk about. So whoever this source is knew a lot about the meeting. Oh, and they noted that the meeting is just a first step towards reconciliation between Harry and his father, but at least it is a step in the right direction. Everyone just wants to move on and move forward now. It was finally the right time for the two sides to talk. Then let's go over to Newsweek, which is another one that Harry and Meghan goes to. They let Mada a fact be a royal royal correspondent over there. Oh. So we know Newsweek cannot be trusted.
And her name is Mattress, by the way.
Yeah. Prince Harry and King Charles' peace hopes rocked by photo leak. Prince Harry's PR team met King Charles' press secretary. Yes, we all know reconciliation, but
Blah,
they
blah,
were
blah.
photographed. Nothing new. The low-key summit at the Overseas League, that is the private club they met with. They say who they met with. We already knew that. However, a photographer for UK tabloid was there. Why it matters. Harry has for years accused Buckingham Palace of leaking stories about him and his family, so the appearance of images of 3 people in the papers, none of whom has significant public profiles, sparked immediate fears the embryonic peace talks could disintegrate. It sounds like they are mad, like Harry's mad. It does sound like they might not have leaked it. I don't know. Anything is possible. Not least of all, the Mail on Sunday is Harry and Meghan's least favorite British tabloid, the pair having sued it 4 times between them. Yeah, be proud of that. What to know? Newsweek has been told both sides remain optimistic that a new era of greater cooperation is still on the cards. A Sussex source said the leak was not from our side and added that the saga had left them frustrated. We know that. They suggested there was frustration in both camps. They suggested. We don't know that.
I'm not frustrated.
Yeah. So they're not happy it got out. This is huge because it is now showing more and more that this could have been the palace testing the waters, allegedly. Here's the only problem I have with that. My problem is when it was leaked, why would they do it the weekend of Wimbledon? Okay.
I have another theory about that.
Well, here, let's bring up your tweet.
So I put this out on X right before I went to bed. I just said, I'm starting to believe this was a setup by King Charles and the palace to see who the leaks truly are. Now more than ever, the king knows Harry and Meghan are the rats. If true, it's a brilliant move from the monarchy to lure in your enemy and then expose them to the public. Now, what I mean by that is that the only way to get rats to come out at night is by putting out a little bit of cheese, right? So they must have said something to the effects, and I'm saying King Charles and the palace, to the communication director of the Sussex people, like, well, you know what? We need to talk to you about something. It's very important. We're not going to tell you what it is, but it's very important. Now, Harry knows his dad has cancer. So they had to put out some bait. They are Nancy, the palace. I know
being like that.
But before anything, okay. If someone wrote a memoir about you, one of your own children, and their wife was going out in the public talking about you, you know, doing covers, all this stuff, podcasts, don't you think that King Charles would have to secure to the public, to us, optics wise, that I am 5 steps ahead of these people? You want to see a leak? Watch this. Hold my beer. He did it the day of Wimbledon because he knew that Princess Catherine and the kids and Prince William were going to get coverage. So it just looked like a double whammy win to him.
So let's see what Taz had to say about your post, because I think it's important that we get a lot of perspectives going on. This is a big deal.
Please
I know
comment.
A lot of people,
there's like almost 400 comments already. So please tell me what you guys are thinking. But that's what I think.
If you have X. Taz says, interesting viewpoint. I'm thinking a different path, though, because this made the king look weak by even considering such a move. So I don't think the palace leaked. It's angered the UK public, thinking King Charles would allow them back. I think Meghan leaked so the palace will shut the door on Harry and she can convince him that the palace sold him out win-win. That's a good theory too, because right now, if Meghan is a bona fide narcissist, I'm not a doctor, allegedly, if she is, you need to completely cut off the family, the friends, everything from everyone. And right now, she is doing everything she can to do that little tunnel that he still has to the palace, maybe.
Still think they were leaving cheese out for the rats.
Well, let's see what the Sussex squad had to say about this.
Well, they're not happy. Well, they're confused. They're not that smart.
But this is what was interesting. This is the consensus of what the Sussex squad is going through right now about this. Dear. I just found out that People magazine debunked the Daily Mail's reconciliation claim hours ago. Mayne's trip to London was entirely unrelated to the concept of reconciliation. She wasn't there for reconciliation talks. That is true, 100%. The girl supposedly went there to talk to a bunch of their UK-based people. Why Harry and Meghan would even still have UK-based anything? It could be to do with Invictus.
Were they knocking on doors, ringing doorbells, trying to get some stuff for Harry before they get back?
We don't know. This is the People magazine that the Sussex squad was referring to, and it's basically Harry and Meghan's mouthpiece. There isn't anything really new in it. I haven't read the whole thing, but this is just like the gist of it. Senior aides for Prince Harry and King Charles met in London, signaling first step toward healing the royal family. So they're not saying it's reconciliation. The informal talks, seen as an olive branch, opened a channel of communication for the first time in years, and that is very well true. They did talk. The meeting comes after Harry expressed hope for reconciliation in a recent BBC interview. People understands that Mayne's visit to London was officially part of her routine duties.
Okay.
As Chief Communications Officer to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, she was in town to meet with the UK-based communications team, media contacts, stakeholders, and senior figures.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Let's say she was in town to do whatever official business, which is smart, because now I'm even thinking it's smarter on the palace's end. What if they said, hey, whatever your name is,
Meredith,
why don't you come by this club? You know, we're going to meet, though, on the balcony so everyone could take photos of it like it was documented down and Harry can't lie about it.
Yeah.
Why don't you meet at this club at this time? Because we have a little bit of information since you're in town. Because the king knows everything. You don't think he knew Meredith was there? Of course. So maybe this, again, I don't think that Harry and Meghan were behind this at all. They're not smart enough. They're not powerful enough. That is the king's turf. We are talking about London here. That is his turf. And again, on the day of Wimbledon.
Well, the leak came out.
And I just can't see luring in those little mice without something, you know. But they kept it public, which I gotta appreciate.
You have to keep everything contact you
now.
have at this point with the Sussexes, or the Harry and Meghan, public. You have to at this point.
It's like one of those action movies where you're meeting the villain, but you have to meet him in Vatican City around everybody, because you can't meet him in private.
The only thing that is bad about this, that's super negative, is it looks like King Charles in the media, not in real life, but it looks like he's prioritizing Harry's feelings over his other sons, Prince William's. And that's what I think is sort of angering everybody on our side, is how could you even do that?
I think Prince William is in on it. I think
he's
everything.
Smart. He is smart.
But I mean, you guys aren't giving the palace or Prince William or King Charles the benefit of the doubt,
or enough credit.
A lot of our side is calling him weak. They're saying, "Oh, he, you know, you can't stand up to Harry." I give the palace the benefit of the doubt until the end.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish they would say something, but I feel like at this point now, Harry and Meghan want them to say something.
No. It was so smart of them not to say anything, because they knew that those Sussexes would sing like a canary the next day.
Yeah.
They couldn't keep their mouths shut to save their life.
I want to read a tweet that a friend put up. MRC, this is a great page to follow. If you guys are on X, this is one of my favorites. They've run out of stories to sell to America media and public. They are increasingly unpopular. That's true. Their victim narrative is no longer commercially viable or politically popular. He's unemployed. Her flour crumb business is limping, and they failed at getting freebie security. Meanwhile, Andrew seems to have been given a pass. His accuser is deceased. He admitted no crime, and the crimes of his deceased friend seem to have been ruled non-existent. It's true. Should Prince Andrew get all his military stuff back? Because According to the
Okay.
US government,
Okay.
none of it happened.
But let's not distract from Meghan and
No,
Harry,
I
which
know.
we're doing right now.
I'm just saying. Charles was already giving Andrew public family appearances that will likely now increase in time. So will Andrew, Sarah, Beatrice, and Eugenie back on the royal scene in varying ways: receptions, garden parties, Easter, Christmas, etc. It's a given that Charles will make room for his unemployed second son and his grandchildren. Oh God, I hope not. So expect to see the campaign between now and 2027. And with it will come the gaslighting, abusive, emotional manipulation, and pressure on the Prince and Princess of Wales. That is where I'm not going to be happy, because if it does upset the Prince and Princess of Wales, then King Charles needs to not do it. That's where I'm going to be like, King Charles, you need to step off a little bit and not baby this ginger weirdo, who are not just thinking of their own mental health, their family well-being, and personal boundaries, but are also needing to consider the stability and standing of the constitutional monarchy of the United Kingdom and Commonwealth realms. That's a hard one to say.
Realms.
And they and their children will inherit. Prince George is almost 12, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis a little younger. Why would William trust Harry? You can't, period. Or give him the opportunity to continue to hurt Princess Catherine and the damage his children's lives like he has spent the last 6 years doing. He is toxic. Do not have him around those kids. Now, this is a perfect example they made, because until you actually see it, you forget. All the public accusations, the personal attacks, the private information, the media, and the social media conspiracies, all sold by middle-aged Harry for entertainment, along with all the smear campaigns, the hired bullies, and flying monkeys. And I'm so glad that MRC put this perfect shot together, because it shows all the times that he was a sneaky little devil.
It was their victim tour.
And you forget, unless you physically see it, you go, God, he went on camera.
Yeah, when you put everything together, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I see those tweets and I appreciate that, because I follow them as well and I think they're great. I just see things like that where we're putting the blame on King Charles and we're not giving Prince William the benefit of the doubt. And we're making Prince William almost seem dumb in these tweets.
And not strong.
I think he knows everything. I think his dad is on top of it. I appreciate everyone's opinion. I'm just saying, I think that things like that are now distraction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. HRH Lady J. And let's see what she had to say, because she came in hot on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Let's shred this Peace Summit garbage. The media's gone wild over a July 9th, 2025 meeting at the Royal Overseas League in London, where King Charles is patron, slapping on labels like reconciliation and olive branch. This isn't just lazy, it's dangerous, stupid, and a textbook case of misleading the public with zero proof. I agree. We know almost nothing, yet outlets are spinning soap operas like they've got a transcript. That's why, wouldn't you think Harry and Meghan, they wouldn't say anything? They would just say no comment. The fact that they felt they had to say something just shows how desperate they are for publicity.
And they're horrible poker players, because if they wanted to keep that quiet, I mean, they just couldn't do it.
Assuming anything here isn't just wrong, it's reckless idiocy that distorts reality and fuels false hope. So she goes on to say, like, what had happened. She brings up why Meredith was there, you know, all the facts that we know so far. And then she goes on to say, could be any, none, or something mundane. There was staff only, no royals, in a secure pro-palace venue.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's not a family hug. It's a transaction, a firewall. After Harry and Meghan turned private talks into Oprah, Netflix, and Spare, the palace isn't dumb enough to risk another leak.
Thank you.
Trust is dead. They send staff, pick a controlled spot, and dictate the optics. Exactly. Yeah. I'm starting to think more and more. Yeah.
Dangle the cheese.
This wasn't a welcome. It was a fortress. That's probably why they're so freaked out going to Newsweek and Cosmo, because they're like, we really didn't do it, guys. This is the first time we're telling the truth.
And now Meghan and Harry are going to spin this into the victim role again, where we just got taken advantage of. And look at what my daddy did to me. told everyone where we were.
But that's kind of a good thing because
We're going to see it.
But we're going to see it.
It's
and
optics.
We don't play the whole crying victim act in America anymore.
It's a genius move, if true.
The palace played it smart. They leaked first, date, place, players, just enough to own the narrative before the Sussex PR machine could spin. Attendees were seen on the balcony. They moved inside, choreographed, leak-proof. For years, Harry and Meghan have dropped victim-framed PR bombs painting the royals as villains. This time, the palace struck first. They set the tone, blocked the spin. They're not reacting. They're running the show.
It's a game, man.
This meeting was the palace's answer, a quiet staff-level move that gives nothing away. No cameras, no drama, just control. Notice who wasn't there. William's team. Not a mistake, a wall. His silence and absence scream disengagement. He's not playing. Yet pro-Sussex voices like Charlotte Griffith churn out healing and hope nonsense. It's not news, it's fan fiction. These assumptions aren't just baseless, they're dangerous. They manipulate the public, fuel false narratives, and kill any chance of clarity. Outlets tossing around olive branch without evidence aren't informing, they're inflaming. It's a stupid bet that cheapens truth. No one knows what was said. That's the point.
Like that.
She's right.
Lady J.
Yeah, Lady J's great. So
But
that's what we have so far.
That's what I went to sleep with. I just popped in my. I was just like, how was I so dumb that I would actually think that this was anything other than the palace making a move?
Yeah. We're never going to know really, but the fact that Meghan has not posted anything on her Instagram since the 4th of July is a little weird. Like, I'm concerned. No, I'm not concerned, but like, why isn't she posting anything? It's weird to me. Maybe she's on vacation. Kelly's on vacation. She might have gone on vacation with them. Who knows?
It's the summer.
Yeah, it's the summertime.
Who cares? She's probably like on a yacht somewhere.
Probably with Kris Jenner, Oprah, and Gayle.
Popping bottles of toilet wine.
What was that, dude?
That was, it was a grifter's paradise. Living in a grifter's paradise.
That needs to be your next song.
Our lives living in a grifter's paradise.
Today's animal rescues, you guys, we are featuring the 3 rescues that we featured last week. The reason being is it's raining right now in Central Texas again. Again. And they had to stop the search and rescue because of the hard rains, which means once the rain stops, there'll probably be more flooding and more displaced animals. So it's really important that we help those smaller rescues. You can also give to the Humane Society and ASPCA because I heard they're helping tremendously as well.
They're getting the horses out of the, there's lots of horses in Texas. They're getting the horses out of the stalls, and that's what we need.
Yeah, but if you want to help smaller rescues, these are the people you want to help. We're putting it in the description box below. There are links. Please share them with friends and family. Give if you can. It really does make a difference.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you tomorrow. We love you so much.
Yeah. Bye guys.